Welcome to my office. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a quiz on our newspaper website. It's super easy. Takes a little bit of time to find the pictures, but otherwise it's a pretty straightforward process. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what you do from start to finish. We'll talk about this in class, kind of the purpose for it. But overall, I think it's very manageable. One thing that you need to be aware of, though, is how to get pictures legally and so that we don't get sued as a newspaper. I will talk about it in class, but there's also a video that's available on our Canvas page that I'll direct everybody to in class as well. It's critical that you do that because otherwise, literally, there are groups out there that will sue websites for using images illegally, as maybe they should, right? If you're using it illegally. But oftentimes, students just don't know that they're actually using it illegally. So let's start walking through this now that that legal talk is over. Okay, here we are on the website. Let me move myself up here. jesuitnews.com, and you've logged in, so you would have this up here. And you're going to go to our kind of background mechanics page. And I'm pretty sure everyone can do this, but let me know if you're a writer and you don't have access to this. We can switch that up and figure out how to do that. But what you're looking for is down here under SNO Quizzes. You want to go to add new quiz, but to just start, you might say, okay, what are all the quizzes? And this is one that I've started. Now, if you're starting a new quiz, which I'll do right here just so you can see it, I'm going to go add new quiz at the top. And usually these quizzes are kind of goofy. They actually don't really follow a lot of logic. So that's why you saw in that last one the title, what kind of animal mascot would you be? Which doesn't really make a ton of sense. So then we need answers. So our answers are going to be grouse, elephant. Another answer will be, I think, lemur. And then we have one more, which I think will be donkey. Okay, now the most important thing you do with this is you set up these outcomes. And that is, if you've ever done one of these quizzes, that's what your result shows up as. So that answers the question, what kind of animal mascot would you be? Now, if you leave it just as text, it's super boring, it's not engaging, and it's not very good. So you want to always add an image to each thing. So if I'm a grouse, I need to make sure that I found pictures of grouse. Again, watch the video about how to get images that are legal. But I've already found these images, so I'm going to use this one for the grouse. Exit off here. There we go. So now that grouse one's there. Do the same thing with the elephant. Use this image. Lemur. And lastly, donkey. And here's my donkey. Excellent. Now, you might have noticed I thought about doing an NFL quiz. I love the Bills, right? But one of the biggest challenges was I couldn't find NFL images that were not copyrighted. So that's where I had to kind of abandon that. All right, so once you have your outcomes, I have my images, then I need to ask questions. I recommend having at least 4 questions. I think that makes it more interesting. And those questions can be pretty silly because that's usually how these quizzes go. What we've done sometimes in the past, and you can see those examples on our website, is this is a great way for people to get to know teachers. So we've said, like, what English teacher are you? And then people play that game. Or I think what we did also, what history teacher are you? And then when you meet with the teachers, you just ask them the same question. They give you a one-word response. And then we use that for the answers here. But for this, we're going to say what type of flooring is in your house is our first question. And wood is one answer. Tile, I think, is another. Carpet is another. And I think one is, whoops, too many. I think one is fake wood, like linoleum, I guess. And I need to choose, again, images that will work for these. So I'm going to go through, choose all those images, sometimes you have to click on this like 3 times, which is weird to get out of there. Tile. I need to choose tile. There's my tile image. So again, you can kind of see why it's super helpful to plan out your quiz before you get into like trying to lay this out online, because you can go find all your pictures and just save them into a drive or upload them to our media on our website, and that's going to save you time from going back to a folder again and again. Then I'm going to do carpet, use this, and then lastly fake wood, which I could just write linoleum, but fake wood is better. Okay, now a key thing right here, or else your quiz won't work, is make sure you have the relation. So I need to choose something different for each of these, and then I can say what weight that answer results in that thing. So that just means like if it's tile but you only weigh it like 2%, it probably won't impact whether or not the person will end up as an elephant. You can just leave those at 1. That's fine. And again, these are usually kind of silly. So those are all my answers to my first question that's going to lead to the answer of what kind of animal mascot would you be. Then we're going to do another question. That question is going to be, what is your current mood? And I'm actually going to do this kind of backwards. I'm going to find the pictures first. And this one I haven't uploaded them yet. So just so you see how this goes, I need to upload, select files, and I'm going to do this cloud. Oh, excuse me, I'm doing the mood one, right? So I'm going to do joyful, laughter, sad, and stressed. Those are all the mood ones. Darn, those are JFIFs. If you get this, if it's a JFIF, it's not going to work. So let me walk you through how you can get these if they say they're JFIFs. Okay, this happened because I used this website Unsplash, which is free in their fair use images, but for some reason they didn't download correctly, and it might be because they didn't actually click download for it, and that gives you permission to use it that way. So if I click download, yep, now it's actually a JPEG. And so if I save it, I'm going to do that one more time so you can see kind of what I did there, because it's actually below your screen. You'll get a download. I'm going to pull this down so you can see this. This is where that download shows up. And I can say show in folder. And here's my download. And then I'm going to do Control X to cut. There we go. And it's going to fade out a little bit if you cut it correctly. And then on my desktop, I'm going to go to NFL Teams Quiz. And I need to actually now kind of get rid of some of these ones that I had. Like I had like sad, stressed, laughter, joyful, because I didn't download those correctly. And now I'm going to paste it. So this one's stressed. This one is laughter, so I have to download that correctly. Say open in folder. Oops, not open, but show in folder. There we go. And my computer is going to get there eventually. It's working on it, as it says. Working so hard, very slow. And it's going to eventually download that. So this is the process of downloading, but just to get back to this, because I think you understand the process of downloading, I'm going to actually try and see if these ones will load. I'm going to try these weather patterns. I might have done this one correctly. We'll see if they're not JFIFs. So I have clouds, I have hurricane, I have lightning, and we'll see how that goes. Nope, they're also JFIFs. Okay. But let's do this. Let's just pull some things from here just because this is just practice. And we're going to just grab some of these. And so we're actually going to call this one, this question is going to now be different. This question is going to be, what JHS faculty member are you? And you could say, Mr. Clark. You could say, let's find another one from this recent event. Mr. Arndorfer here. Let's do this one. He looks very political there. That's fun. Mr. Arndorfer. Let's do another one. Load more. I forget that priest name off the top of my head, so we're not going to use him. But we could use there we go, Mr. Powers. Let's do that. Mr. Powers. And then I'd recommend one more, but for the sake of this process, I think you get it. Okay, so now that those are all there, I have 2 questions for this quiz. I say, that looks good. Let me just move my head here. I'm going to say publish, and I need to set a featured image. And you can make kind of a fun, funky front page image to that, but you really don't need to do this yet because I'll show you what you end up doing with it. So I've now published it. Now it doesn't go anywhere. Nobody can actually see it until you go to stories and you add a story. And that story is called Quiz. What animal mascot are you? And in here, what we do is we go add SNO story element, and we say SNO Quiz. And then it'll have a drop down of any different quizzes we've made. This is the only one we've made. So we say, okay, there we go. We are an animal mascot. You can leave all this the same. We say insert. That all looks good. Put your name in here, advisor. And then I'm going to say, I don't want a featured image. Do not display that. And I am, though, going to make sure I select quizzes. There it is. And then I'm going to set a featured image. And I would make something kind of fun for this. But for now, I'm just going to make it this grouse picture. And you can see in the ones that are currently on the website what something kind of fun would mean. All right, now I'm going to publish this. So this is a story with that quiz in there. And now I can see quiz, what animal mascot are you? And that also appears under our actual quizzes tab here. So that's really where people will access it. Quiz, what animal are you? And this is what it looks like. What kind of animal mascot would you be? And again, if you wanted to put that picture in here, it's going to make it a little bit more lively. But I'm going to start the quiz. What type of flooring is in your house? Wood. Submit. What JHS faculty member are you? Mr. Powers. Submit. And I am a grouse. Boom. Okay. That's what a quiz is. Again, I think where these are actually most purposeful is when we connect them somehow to JHS. We don't make it like too silly. Like it should still be funny. But so something like this, which JHS history teacher are you? This is something that's a little bit more kind of funny. And this is what I'm talking about with the cover. This is something that's interesting, right? And it's done with a little bit different software. So that's why it looks a little bit different. But it has a purpose to it. And then what the interviewer did, I think this was by Lucy Menendez, she went out and asked, like, what is your favorite color to those different faculty members? And then what's your favorite, like, Saturday activity? What's your favorite food? And ultimately, it tells you that you're one of those faculty members. And that makes it a much more engaging overall quiz, and it makes it purposeful. So that's ultimately the goal, is that you don't just create quizzes that are, like, silly for the sake of being silly, but you create them because they do something interesting. They liven it. You know, if it's prom and they're thinking about the theme, you might say, what theme should prom be? And then you have a whole bunch of questions that lead to a theme that it tells you you believe should be the prom theme. So something like that. Or what college should you go to? What car will you drive when you're older? Like whatever. Of course, with these, we want to make sure that we are not making fun of anyone. We're not being offensive. We love being silly, but we should be clever in our silliness or just goofy in our silliness. We want to make sure we're always being ethical, treating others like we want to be treated. So ask me if you have any questions about that. But these are pretty fun. They're not too hard to put together, and students like them. They're really good traction for the website. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing some of your quizzes.